brief presentation session, and the next delegates presentation is also from Bangladesh, and this Fahmida, if I'm not mistaken in spelling, who will be focused on farmers' presentation and awareness of climate change. Do we have the presenter online? Miss Fahmida? Yes, I see you. Thank you so much. The floor is yours. And could you please be time-wise and stick to 10 minutes presentation? Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me the floor. Here I'm going to present my research paper, which is on farmers' perception and awareness of climate change in Bandarban Hilly district. First, I would like to introduce myself. I am Fahmida Yeasmin from Bangladesh. I am a postgraduate student. I'm studying in University of Chittagong. So let's move on to my topic. Am I visible?
We can see the presentation and we hear you perfectly.
So as you know that global climate change has multidimensional impacts on agriculture, and as Bangladesh has an agriculture-based economy, but it is considered as a vulnerable country due to the impacts of climate change because of its geographical location and socioeconomic condition. And our study area is Bandarban, which is located in the eastern hilly parts of the country. And this district is mainly based on different tribal groups, and that their mainstay is agriculture. And rising temperature and changes in precipitation pattern have impacted agriculture in the plainlands. However, it is yet to know the impacts of climate change in the marginal agriculture So the main aim of this study was to determine and describe the climate change of the birds. The 1,700 square miles, and in temperature I have shown here, and we have a select from Bandarban. This one is
Madam Co-Chair, please see.
the main crop of
Okay.
the main crops of that district is paddy, sesame,
something.
Okay, it's a network problem. Anyway, please have a patience. We request everyone have a patience, please. Yes, Fahmida, go on, please. There was a network problem. Yes.
The main goal of my study was to understand the impacts of climate change on agricultural sector and the level of farmers' awareness required to cope with the changing climate. So here was my objective. First one is to know the climatic condition of the study area. And for this, I chose the method to investigate the climatic data, which I was get from Bangladesh Meteorological Department. And I have took the maximum and minimum temperature and rainfall data. And my second objective was to understand the level of awareness of the farmers about climate change. For this objective, I have chosen the method for questionnaire survey, and third one was to understand the climate change impacts on agriculture of the area based on farmer perception.
Fahmida, please share your screen. Yes, please share your screen. Share screen.
Okay.
Yeah. Fine.
Okay. Here we can see the relation between the education level and the agricultural involvement of the farmers in Bandarban districts. Here you can see that the people are mostly illiterate and they got primary education, and the people who are illiterate, they are mostly involved with agriculture more than 60 to 20 years. Then we try to identify the awareness level by their education level, and most of the people, as I mentioned earlier, the illiterate and they got primary education, they think climate change is happening and this is real, though most people are not aware of the climate change. And in our study we have got that 55% people are aware of climate change. And we have another findings. We have found that the people who are involved with agriculture more than 60 to 20 years, they are mostly aware of the climate change, as they can observe the climate many years. Then we try to identify the causes of climate change, and most people say that human activities are mostly responsible for climate change, but there are also some respondents who think how can the human change a natural process? They think it's a kind of God's will or something, that's why climate is changing or natural environment is changing. We have identified some activities which causes the climate change, mainly the human activities like encouraging of commercial tree deforestation, hill cutting, brick field, and there are also changes of zoom cultivation and natural land decreasing also. Here I am showing the changing trend of rainfall, for which we have got 65 years data from Bangladesh Meteorological Department. From here we can see that the precipitation is changing and the intensification of rainfall is getting higher. And here you can see the changing trend of maximum temperature. In 1950, it was 29.8 degrees Celsius, and now in 2015, it is more than 13.4 degrees Celsius. Same case is for the minimum temperature. In earlier times, the winter was much colder, but nowadays it becomes much warmer according to the farmers' perception, and as well as from the BMP data, we also can see the fact. Here comes the impact of climate change on environment according to farmers' perception. Here you can see that the water crisis is become more vulnerable to the farmers, and there are also the natural water sources are decreasing day by day. There are also changes in hilly land, and the types of land is changing due to climate change. There are also they have also experienced that extinction of plants and animal species in this study area. Here you can see the variation. Because of variation of rainfall and temperature, there are some impact on agriculture, like waterlogging, flash flood have been increasing, and most people say that the decrease of crop production is more prominent because of rainfall variation. And we can also see that increasing irrigation also decreasing the production, because as the temperature is rising, people are not find much water for their irrigation, so it becomes harder for them to irrigate properly. Farmers also experience economic losses due to climate change, and most people experience economic losses in the dry season, because they have to go They have to go much far away for irrigation problem because they can't get the water. And they suggested some remedies to mitigate the climate change. Most of the farmers say they have to stop the deforestation because in Bandarban we have experienced the increase of commercial trees, and for commercial trees, because commercial trees replantation becomes more prominent in there, but that it also decreases a natural forest. They think they should stop this for to mitigate the climate change, and hill cutting should be stopped also, and public awareness is much needed to mitigate the climate change. Our overall findings from the study is based on the farmers' perception. It is concluded that the activities and the production are affected by climate change, and there are also significant changes in temperature and precipitation in the area in the last 50 years. And human activities are more responsible for climate change than natural causes. And people who are involved in agricultural activities for a longer time are much more conscious about the climate change than the newer farmers. And the current situation of the climate change is slowly increasing, but agriculture side, which will be visible in near future. And there are some recommendations. We can say that we need to provide location-specific and need-based into the farmers, which will be help in decision making at grassroots level. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing with us the results of your presentation. Unfortunately, I lost the connection for a while. And could I clarify the time scope of your research? Was it done on very specific data, or you did it in dynamics? Just maybe I missed it. I'm sorry. Oops. Is it just me freezing, or? Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear.